accounting errors. This is new chapter which we have to study in class 10, and from this chapter there are 5 questions, at least 4 questions will be asked in C examination, and you have to solve the questions within I think 8 minutes, and you will get 5 marks. So let's discuss about accounting. Yes, what is accounting errors? As you know that accounting is the process of identifying financial transactions, keeping the record of financial transactions, classifying financial transactions, analyzing, interpreting and communicating the informations of financial transactions. It is called accounting. And when we keep the account, we are human beings, make many mistakes, commits many mistakes, that is called errors. So the errors which are committed in course of accounting is called accounting errors. The errors or mistakes committed in accounting process is called accounting errors. There are many types of accounting errors. Some errors intentionally, and some of them are unintentionally. Intentionally mistakes, that is, we know or we do mistake. The mistakes which we know, knowingly if we do mistake, that is called intentionally. It is also called fraud, and that will be very difficult to find out the fraud because it is intentionally done. Similarly, the mistakes we don't know because the lack of education, lack of the knowledge, if we do mistake, that is called unintentionally mistakes. Similarly, errors of principle and errors of clerical. Some mistakes are mistakes which are beyond the rules and regulations and process of accounting. Like revenue expenditures are recorded in capital expenditure. In machinery account, instead of machinery account, we have written furniture account. This is called errors of principle, and that will be difficult to find out because the errors of principles cannot be disclosed by trial balance. Where the errors of clerical, while entering journal entries, posting them into ledger, overcasting into ledger, undercasting into ledger, balancing mistakes of ledgers, balancing mistakes of trial balance, this is called errors of clerical. Similarly, the effects upon the ledger, one-sided mistake errors and two-sided errors. The mistakes which affect only one account, in only one account, that is called one-sided error, and the mistakes which affects two accounts, in both accounts, that is called two-sided errors. Similarly, the errors disclosed by trial balance, and the errors which are not disclosed by trial balance. As we know that trial balance is an accounting instrument, accounting statement, which is prepared to know the arithmetical accuracy of journal and ledger. When we prepare journal entries and post them into ledger, then we prepare trial balance to check whether the accounts are kept properly or not. But sometimes when we prepare trial balance, the debit side of the total debit side and the total credit side does not match, and we come to know that there is mistake. But when the debit side of trial balance and total credit side of trial balance matched, but still there are mistakes, that is called the error not disclosed by trial balance. In this way, there are different types of mistakes, but according to the course, we are not going to describe the types of mistakes. We are going to give you the knowledge about how the mistakes can be rectified. Either the mistakes are intentionally, unintentionally, knowingly, non-knowingly, one-sided, two-sided, errors disclosed by trial balance, or errors does not disclosed by trial balance. But the errors are errors, so we have to rectify them. We have to rectify them in proper time. Otherwise, it creates a major problem. So all the mistakes we divide into two parts. One is one-sided error, one-sided errors. Another is two-sided errors. For example, goods sold to Pintu rupees 5,000 but wrongly debited his account by 500. You see here, goods sold to Pintu. Actually, the journal entry is Pintu account DR2 sales account. Actually, there should be 5,000, 5,000. You see that goods sold to Pintu, Pintu account DR2 sales account. In posting them, Pintu account is debited by just only 500 rupees. It means we have to increase the Pintu account by 4,500, and this mistake is just in Pintu account only, not in sales account. Therefore, it is called one-sided error. Similarly, other example I am going to say here: cash received from Hero rupees 4,000 but wrongly credited his account by 400. You see that cash received from Hero. Actually, journal entry will be cash account DR to Hero account, right? Cash account DR to Hero account. But what he has done? Wrongly credited his account. If this is here, Hero account is wrongly credited by 400. So, in how many accounts the mistakes are done? In only one account. That is called Hero account. In Hero account. Therefore, it is called one-sided error. But you see that about two-sided error, it affects in two accounts. For example, goods sold to Pintu rupees 5,000 but wrongly debited in Chintu account rupees 5,000. You see that this is transaction, goods sold to Pintu. What will be journal entry? Pintu account DR to sales account, right? One thing you remember, when you are going to rectify accounting errors, you must have that 100% command on journal entries. If you are poor in preparing journal entry, it will be quite difficult for you to rectify the accounting errors. Goods sold to Pintu account DR to sales account. If it will be done like this, there is no mistake. If it was done like this, there is no mistake. But what he has done? He has done, in place of Pintu, he has written Chintu account DR to sales account. You see that? Chintu account DR to sales account. What should be there? There should be Pintu account, but he has written in Chintu account. How many accounts are affected? 2 accounts are affected. One Pintu, another Chintu. Pintu should be written and Chintu should be omitted. Chintu should be cancelled. So this affects in 2 sides, 2 accounts. Therefore, it is called two-sided error. So you clear that one-sided error and two-sided error. So first we know what types of errors are they, one-sided or two-sided. If error is one-sided, effect will be in one side. If errors are two-sided, the effect will be in 2 account or 2 sides. When you clear about one-sided error or two-sided error, after that we have to clear when the errors are located. When the errors are located, before trial balance or after trial balance. Before trial balance or after trial balance. Similarly, in two-sided error, before trial balance or after trial balance. After trial balance. Yes, first you know the errors. Similarly, simply you came to know types of errors. And among the various types of error, major you have to know about one-sided errors and two-sided errors for rectifying them. After finding the types of errors, you must know when the errors are found, whether the trial balance is prepared or not. If trial balance is not prepared and you came to know about the errors, that is called before preparing trial balance. And if you came to know about the errors and trial balance is prepared, ledgers are closed, that is called after trial balance. Similarly, two-sided errors, before trial balance and after trial balance. And the treatment before trial balance and after trial balance is different. But when you are going to rectify two-sided errors, either that is before trial balance or either that is after trial balance, the process of rectifying errors are similar process. Similar process that will be discussed in another video. That will be discussed in another video. In this video, I am going to teach you that how the errors are rectified if the errors are found in before preparing trial balance, and how the errors can be rectified if the errors are found after preparing trial balance. In another video, I will teach you the process of rectifying two-sided accounting errors. So the topic will be like this now: rectification of one-sided errors. One-sided errors. Okay. If one-sided error is found before preparing trial balance, then what happened? and if the errors are found after preparing trial balance, then what happens? Okay, so let's take an example. Example is goods purchased for cash rupees 5,000 but wrongly credited rupees 500 in cash account. Here is one question. Goods purchased for cash rupees 5,000 but wrongly credited rupees 500 in cash account. Really, what will be its journal entry? Its journal entry will be purchase account DR to cash account 5,000. Okay, but the mistake is like this. Purchase account debit 5,000, okay, but in cash account he has written only 500, and while posting ledger in cash account amount is written just 500. So what will we do if trial balance is not prepared? See carefully. Trial balance is not prepared. Trial balance is not prepared means ledgers are opened. Ledgers are not closed. Ledgers are not closed. But when trial balance is prepared, it means all ledgers are closed. Right? So trial balance is not prepared, it means ledgers are not closed. Because what are the process? Journal, post them into ledgers, and if ledgers are closed, we will prepare trial balance. Right? So if ledgers are closed, then trial balance prepared. If ledgers are not closed, then trial balance is not prepared. So here trial balance is not prepared. It means cash account, the ledger of cash account is opened. So you go in cash account. You open a ledger of cash account, date, particular J of amount, date, particular J of amount. It is the ledger of cash account. You see, purchase account is debit and cash account is credit. Cash is only credited by 500. It means you have to add 4,500. Still you have to add. One thing you must know that if the account which you are going to increase, if it is debited, then debit. If it is credited, then credit. If you are going to increase, then. But if you are going to decrease or eliminate that account, then if account is debited, then you have to credit, and if account is credited, then you have to debit. Understand? If you have to increase, the debit should be debited, credit should be credited. And if you have to increase, the debit should be credited and credit should be debited. Now see here, the account which you are going to rectify, that is cash account, and it is credited, and you have to increase, then what will you do? You will credit it. You will credit it. So in credit side, first you write here date, particulars J of amount, date, particulars J of amount. Now what we have to do? You are going to increase, because here is written only 500, but it should be 5,000. Therefore you have to increase what? If you have to increase 4,500. The account is credited, you have to increase, then you have to credit also. Again you have to credit. So in credit side you have to retain, you have to write by rectification of errors of undercast of cash account. What do you mean by this? The cash account is undercasted and now you have rectified by 4500. This is the process of rectifying the errors before preparing trial balance. Another example I am going to give you. Another example I am going to give you. Cash paid for salary rupees 10,000 but wrongly debited rupees 1 lakh. Cash paid to salary 10,000. What will be journal entry? Salary account DR to cash account. Here should be 10,000. Here should be 10,000. But what is mistake? Mistake is that wrong debited. Debited means salary. In salary account there is added 10 more. It means 1 lakh debited. Then what you have to do? You have to decrease the salary account by 90,000. By 90,000 you have to decrease. The account is debited and you have to decrease. Then you have to post it into credit side because it is debited. So you have to open here salary account. You write here salary account. You make the format. Before preparing trial balance, you have to make this format. Format of ledger. In class 9, you have already know. You know already. Here you have to write date of amount. Once more. In only salary account errors is committed. Only salary account. What is the mistake? In salary account, it should be posted 10,000. But it is posted 1 lakh. It means it is increased and now we have to decrease by 90,000. And what I have told just now, if account is debited and you have to decrease, it is necessary for decrease this account, then you have to credit. The account is debited and you have to decrease it, then it should be in credited. In credited you have to write by rectification of error of overcast in salary account. By how much? By 90,000. In this way, before preparation of trial balance, if the errors are committed, you have to rectify them in ledgers account, in related ledgers account. I think you understand when the mistakes before preparing trial balance and that mistake is one-sided, you have to prepare ledgers. Okay, now if there is after trial balance, then what happens? Here another example, a different example I have taken here. Posted 1,000 wrongly. What do you mean by this? Posted 1,000 wrongly on the debit side instead of credit side of sales account. It means sales account is credited but wrongly posted it into debit side. In which side? Debit side. So now we have to post them into credit side. So you have to open sales account. If it is before preparing trial balance, you have to open sales account, ledger, date, particular JF amount, date, particular JF amount. You have to prepare format like this, debit and credit. You have to write here date, particulars, JF amount, date, particulars, JF amount. Okay, here I have prepared a sales account, and you understand that instead of credit side of sales account always sales account credited, but by mistake he has posted it into debit side. So you have to now post them into credit side, and what you write? By rectification of errors of posting debit side instead of credit side. That amount will be doubled, 2000. Do you know why? Because it should be in credit side and it is already debited. To eliminate the debit side, once again 1000 rupees you have to add. It means you have to credit sales account by 2000. Then it will be balanced. But the same mistake if you have found after preparing trial balance, it means ledger is already closed, trial balance is opened, and there is created suspense account. Though in this way, therefore you have to prepare suspense account. And how? You see here, sales account should be credited. Sales account should be credited by how much? 2000. So debit is not here. No, here two sales account should be debited by 2000, credited by 2000. Then suspense account you have to open in debit side by 2000, because sales account is rectified but one account is missing here. Therefore here you have to open suspense account, right? And narration will be like this: being rectification of, this all you have to write in narration, rectification of errors of posting debit side instead of credit side. Okay, so while we talk about before preparing, you have to prepare ledgers. If we talk about after preparing trial balance, you prepare journal entries. The accounts is already credited. Here is also credited, here is also credited. But in debit side, you have to write suspense account. Okay, understand? Last, I am going to take another example. Goods sold to Ankit were posted twice in Ankit's account. Goods sold to Ankit. Here, what will be journal entry? Ankit account debit 5000 to sales account 5000. But in Ankit account, double entry 10,000 twice entered in Ankit account. So what will you do? You have to decrease the Ankit account by 5000. So Ankit account is debited and you have to decrease, then it should be credited. Okay, Ankit is debited and you have to decrease, then it should be decrease, then debited should be credited. So if it is before preparing trial balance, you have to prepare ledger like this, ledger, and and the Aniket account should be credited. Here you have to credit, and that I have already taught you. But if it is after preparing trial balance, Ankit account is credited, no problem. Ankit account is credited. Ankit account is credited by 5,000. But what is debited? Suspense account is debited. Suspense account is debited. In this way, Ankit account is credited and the remaining account will be debited, and that is suspense account. Because to which account you should debit now? So in this place you have to write suspense account. In this way you have to prepare journal entry and for after preparing trial balance, and you have to ledger for before preparing trial balance. You write here Ankit account, and in Ankit account you have to write in credit side by 5,000. So I hope that you have understood how to rectify the one-sided error before preparing trial balance and after preparing trial balance. And for two-sided error you have to wait for second video. Thank you.